back from furlough, any business gets $1,000, so that's good news, you know. And I think the interesting thing is, already I'm pretty positive about this, and the reason I'm pretty positive about what they're doing is because right before, effectively, they got onto into power effectively in December, and then come, I think it was February, maybe in the start of March, we got the first budget, which was a pretty impressive budget. If you think we had austerity for 10 years, and then all of a sudden we've got this, and then all of a sudden it was a total reversal. They were willing to spend, and then pretty much the lockdown happened, and then they spent. And so now they've spent, and now they're actually looking to come back. It's actually, there's no reason that we shouldn't actually be able to get this, the economy going again and really happening. And I think that's one of the keys here, is that they're going to have to spend. I mean, there's no choice. If you go back into austerity, you'll destroy the country. You already destroyed it for 10 years by doing nothing effectively, sitting around and cutting back and cutting back. Whereas if you look at the US, it's spent, and albeit, printed an extraordinary amount of money and didn't really solve the debt crisis that was there. And there's a whole range of, and this is not, this is my opinion, but bottom line is, I think, for me, there's some amazing opportunities as a country if we come together now. Brexit was so divisive, and now what we're finding is actually we can, effectively have this where it's, great news for us all, and we can, actually create a country that we're happy of, proud of, outside of Europe, because obviously Brexit, has or is in the process of happening, and I think if we can do that, that's, that's bloody awesome, and really, for me, it's what we need. It's what we needed for a long time, and I really think that, look, we've needed this for some time. And I think that's where one of the fears for me has been, is that it's kind of been a real disappointment that we didn't do something better early. And what I mean by that is we should have been out of austerity, we should have got stuff happening. But look, the things they're going to do now, let's just talk about it. So for instance, they've announced Kickstart scheme, which is basically that effectively 16 to 24-year-olds at risk of long-term unemployed, they get a minimum 24 hours a week paid, and they'll get at least the minimum wage, which is great news. So that means that we can look to hire 16 to 24-year-olds. I mean, for someone like myself, I could go out there and think, well, actually, if they're going to do that for 6 months, I can potentially hire my next 5 guys. We've always had apprentices, so I can potentially get more resources on the next 6 months, really utilise them. Obviously, the devil's in the detail, so we'll have to see what happens there. But, really, that's good news, great thing. Look, the 1K for keeping workers, so obviously we've had the sales guys on furlough, the property consultants on furlough, and a number of other staff. And so bringing them back, I mean, that's probably going to bring in, I think we've got, 10, 12 people on furlough out of, 40 odd. So, it's not a huge amount, but it's, it's better than a kick in the head, So that's good news, So I think actually, to be fair, and new jobs retention bonus, so basically that's $1,000. Employee must be paid $520 each month through to January. Okay, yeah. So all right. So basically, you've got to keep them until January and pay them at least $500, which obviously none of my guys or all my guys are over that. So that's great, But this is a sort of support which, by doing this and allowing businesses to keep people on, is going to have such a remarkable thing. I mean, he is saying that we're facing significant job losses, and that is true. There's already significant job losses, and that will probably, double down too as the furlough scheme actually tapers off, and companies have to make a decision. Because I know, it's great, and I'm in Singapore right now, and I'm not really able to leave at the moment. But basically, I know when I look in some of these restaurants that I'm going to, they're only half full. Now, if before margins were tight, think how tight margins are going to be now. Now sure, they don't have to have as many staff because there's not many people, but that just doesn't really work very well. So the question is, will a lot of these guys open up? And I know I was at Changi Airport, and some of the businesses haven't opened up yet. Some of them opened up, and I was sitting there at lunch, and nobody was there. And I didn't see a single person go in over lunch. Which is pretty full on, So, look, the unemployment rate, I've always said, ignore all the bits and dits and all around, and just focus on what the unemployment rate is, because that is a true indication. Because obviously, high unemployment rate takes time to get people back into jobs, into training, and doing all that sort of stuff. So, that will determine whether it's a 6-month recession or a 2-year recession. Okay. So we'll see what happens there, and I really actually think the great thing, they've just come out with $1,000 to take on trainees. Awesome. Places on level 2, level 3 courses. I mean, from a property consultant, we're doing our level 3 courses for all our staff. That is fantastic, because it means that I can potentially bring on those people and get that $1,000. So if they're getting the $1,000 training program and they're getting that, I'm not sure if they can. Obviously, we'll see what happens with the detail. Fantastic. So companies get $2,000 for apprenticeships. So $2,000 to encourage them to hire apprentices. Well, there's $2,000 for an apprentice. So we normally have 1 or 2 apprentices on. So we'll probably go out and get another. We've got 1 on at the moment. Probably get another 1 or 2 in the business. Great news, all round, because obviously it works out really well. And what this is doing, especially with those younger people, it's getting them into jobs. You're not going to have, where you have in Spain and a few places where you've had a decade of almost lost career opportunity when, they should be in those 20s, not earning a lot, but learning a lot. And, because the unemployment rate's stuck there, and, in places in Europe, it means those people went to 20s and become 30s, and they just haven't had the 20s experience. So now they're in their 30s with the experience, and also they've had a pretty rough trot that they're, behind. So that's some pretty full-on thing there. What else we got here? Kickstart program reminded. Here we go. 1824 job paying employees up to $6,500 per job in wage and business costs. Initially intended 170 temporary. That's fine. So okay, that's. Oh no, sorry. They previously had this Future Jobs Fund scheme under David Cameron, and it's saying it was one of the most ineffective job schemes there's been. Look, this is going to be the problem. But I think the other side of it is fine, but given the situation, any level of support that can stimulate those programs, and apprenticeships is a great program to get people involved and working and that sort of thing. So we'll wait to see. 3 billion green jobs plan. Okay, this is great. I love anything getting away from coal and fossil fuel and that sort of stuff, and putting us into more green energy. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, I'd love if the UK really embraced that, because I think countries that embrace it now and get the cost of the technology down will benefit the soonest. And we're racing to zero, where fossil fuels are not going to be the option. And very quickly, actually, green energy and green things, the technology is increasing really, really quickly, but obviously the established players are there, and they are really. Now, this is the one we wanted to hear, okay, which was basically temporary payment stamp duty holiday, first 500,000 on all property sales in England and Northern Ireland. Okay, now Wales and Scotland are gone. Effect on second homes. Well, it does say all property sales, which so. Sorry, Andy, I just got you there. This is it. I'm using my new technology here, which is Ecamm Live, and so your comment just popped up into the thing. So great. So cheers for that, Andy. But now it looks like it is on second hands. It looks like it's all property sales. They said that it takes effect immediately, which it had to. And we've been talking about this, where if they left it until the autumn, everyone would stop buying, which would kill the market. You need to stimulate it. So he's a smart guy. This Rishi, so good on him. From that perspective. Oh, hold on. Am I? Wait there. Have I been showing you something? Wait there. Let me get this up. I see that it's gone. It looks like it's gone into the. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Let me get the BBC back up. Where has the BBC gone? I don't know where it's gone. Oh, here it is. Yeah, okay, it's there. But I don't know why it's not showing. It's showing the top half and the bottom half. Okay, I need to fix that. The joys of technology. Hey guys. Wait there. Is that? No, that's not it. Yeah, wait there. Let me just see if I can get rid of this. I don't know what this is doing. Is that? No. Alright, sorry guys. Let me put the camera back on, and then I'll keep talking, and then I'll try and work it out in the background while I'm still talking, and we'll see what we can get. So look, bottom line is with that. So stamp duty, yes, it is saying the levy is paid on land or property sold for 120 more. Yeah, so that's existing. But first-time buyers pay no more tax up to 300,000. That's normal. He said that he would cut that from from 20 to 5% on hospitality and tourism. Okay, sectors. I mean that's a 15% discount, which is a fair sort of whack until January, the 12th of January. So that's pretty good there. So yeah, now it'll just be interesting to say, because it does say that he's putting a hold on stamp duty. It doesn't. It says on all property sales. So whether that's exchanges or not is another thing. So we'll have to just get the devil of the detail. Is that if you exchange before then or complete before then? It may well be that it's not. I just realised these are comments. Ron, how are you? Looks promising. So landlords only pay 3% surcharge. Yeah, so I imagine that he's not getting rid of the surcharge if we live overseas and second homes. But it doesn't. I haven't got the detail here. So it'll be good to get the detail. And as soon as I get the detail, obviously I'll record another video. But I just thought while he was speaking, I was sitting here started watching. I thought I'll just jump on my live stream and test out my new software. So excuse the few little issues with the look and feel, but we'll see how we go with that. Look, I'm actually doing a live course every night at midnight to 1:30. So doing this, so that's good. So Sunak says he wanted to see pubs, restaurants, cafes, and B's bustle again. You've got to hand it to them. I have to say I'm pretty damn impressed with what they're achieving, what they're looking to achieve. I really think that they, potentially are doing the right thing here, so that's great news. Oops, wait there, I've just sent me across to the next one. Wait there, let me see if I can no, I don't want that. Why is it right there? Let me just get rid of this. Maybe that's there, that's better. Good. Okay, but I've realised that I'm on the wrong one now. Okay, the joys of new software, hey? Okay, is that working now? No, that's got it. Hey, here we go. Yeah, good. Okay, that should work now. We should be back and better at it now. Yeah, I won't show myself much. Yeah, so it sounds positive. At the end of the day, this will stimulate the market. By stimulating the market, that's fantastic news. So temporary stamp duty VAT cut, okay, that's fine. And then we've got, what's this? Chancellor's focus on jobs. Yeah, so this is going to be the real thing, and I'll keep saying this, is that it depends what happens with the unemployment rate. If it shoots up, then it takes time to get people rehired. To give you an idea, we've just hired a new marketing manager, and I expect him to take 3 months to get up to speed where he's sort of autonomous. So that's 3 months of training. Now, if he doesn't work out, I've got to rehire and start back scratch again. And that's why this, sort of 18 months to 2 years for those people to get rehired, back in the economy. Because obviously, if the market's heading down, you don't really want to hire new people. But this is where stimulus and all this is very good, and I think that's great. Recession looming, yeah. Well, look, we're in a recession. There's no, and it is a pretty bad recession. Retraining problem needed. Yeah, hospitality badly hit. Yes, that's fine. We're up to there. Announces 50% meals discount. And now, what's that? 50% off meals. Participate in restaurants. Says the discount will go up to $10 per head for adults. Apply Monday to Wednesday. Okay, eat out to help out. Fair enough. So that's pretty cool. So I love it. It's little things like this which are quite innovative. So it's Monday to Wednesday, which is great, because what that does, it keeps those businesses going. And normally when it would be, if you can get 50% off a meal, it is up to $10 per head. But you know what? Actually, $10 a head. If you think I take 7 of us out, 7, that's $70 potentially, £70. This is I'm in Singapore, but obviously that's a decent sort of thing. If you're a family of 4, that's $40. Well, that is probably, if you're going out, depending on where you're going out. So that's good. Value of endurance, that's cool. I've got a little bit behind here. Who will benefit from so this is a reality check, this little star. So who will benefit from it? So stamp duty, taxes on land being temporarily cut and all that. Just wait. Oh. Sorry, I've got Ritesh calling me. He's probably listening too. But yeah, look, previously it changed, 120 to 500. So look, that stamp duty thing is bloody awesome. It really will. It will help the market. what it will do, because it's 500,000, the challenge it will do, it will create that market, bustle in that market, okay, which is, fantastic. It's more, obviously that'll cover the whole of the UK apart from London. London, really, most people, anyway, it was doing all right. So, really, what have we got here? Announcers. So these are just bits and pieces on the top now, anyway. So Labor has said Chancellor's put off the big decisions, put off many big decisions until autumn. You know what? I don't blame him to some degree. I think if he gives enough good sentiment now, that's actually the key to this. And I think if he does that very quickly, he'll win hearts and minds. And I think that's the real thing now, is to get people focused on the fact that it's not all bad, that we are okay, And so I mean that works quite well. Hold on, Andy. Andy, what'd you say? Do you mean over 500k? Sorry. No, under 500k there's no stamp duty. Over 500k there will be stamp duty. So I imagine it is the same as it would have been. And by doing that, what it's going to do is going to stimulate the under 500 market, but the above 500 market will still be, as it was. And to be fair, the above 500 market, for the most part, people can afford that sort of thing. So most of the country is under 500,000. So it's a pretty good little thing. But yeah, everyone pays. I imagine the additional stamp duty 3%. I imagine that will still be there. I haven't seen as I said, the devil in the detail. And what was that from? Yeah, from $1. We'll see. The answer. I don't know, Ron. It just I guess we're going to see in the detail. I'll download the whole report and have a read of it overnight, and then no doubt there'll be a video out tomorrow. But I mean, the important thing here is it's bloody good news. And I have to say, I don't think the government has put a foot wrong in terms of the economy, in terms of what they needed to do, in terms of what people expected them to do so far. I mean, look, in terms of the medical side, that was a bit of a debacle. But to be fair, the real, thing here, which is the economy that we're mostly worried. I mean, obviously there's the virus tragedy, which is there, but actually, for the most part, yeah. But look, even if it is 3%, it's still a saving on those lower amounts, which will stimulate that. But what it does mean is, if you were waiting around for a 20% discount on property, you're probably not going to get it, because in fact, most of the developers already have been sitting around and waiting and are happy to wait, can afford to wait, and they're saying, well, we'll see how the market goes. Now the market's saying that it's been okay, so we'll see what actually happens now. And so I think, Ron, you must have looked that up, did you? But then see, because it actually says here plus 3%, yes, yeah. So at the end of the day, that's fine. I'll come out with the detail anyway. But it's good news, because this could be, and probably to some degree should be, given just the sheer weight of the lockdown, it should be one of the worst times ever in property, ever in business. But I have to say, I've got more staff coming to me now because they've saved their initial deposit and they want to start looking at a house. That's extraordinary. You would never think that would be happening in a recession, in a lockdown, but because they're not going out and drinking it, smoking it, whatever, they're saving money, and combined with some good education that we've been giving them, and training and that sort of stuff. So hopefully, and I know there's a lot of people doing it tough out there, but there's also a lot of people, and this happened last time too, with the recession in the global financial crisis, was that some people did it really tough, but a lot of people actually did really well through it. So, and what's this? It says in more stuff. Let me just see. Got to get my and dollars Chancellor to make flame scheme, furlough scheme more flexible. Yeah, I mean, it's a hard one, because you've got to bring people back, and it's almost like driving a car. You've got to know when to push it down, or so yeah. What's that? Laugh out loud. I know. Okay, yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, so that's one of them. Yeah, no, you're right. But no, look, it's actually for me, it's almost surreal. It is pretty surreal. I tell you, it's been tough. It's been tough for me, because I've been stuck here, and the business is over there in Australia, and and really, the one thing I have done is I upgraded my, the behind me, and the studio, and the 4K camera, and the audio, these sort of things, and So, you know, sitting at home, not being able to leave has actually been a great thing. I mean, I've dropped 10K because I've been running every day. I don't know about all you guys out there, but it's been pretty fantastic to see what, you know, you can get done in the, and I've been locked down pretty much. I mean, we're free now. You know, it was three and a half months, you know, that I was out, completely out. And for, you know, 14 of those days, I wasn't supposed to leave the home. Well, no, I wasn't. It was self-imposed. So I was able to go out running, but I wasn't able to go anywhere else. But yeah. So guys, that looks like, I can't see anything else coming out right now. And you know what? I mean, Dodds has said, you know, it's taken 10 years for the Conservatives to catch up. I hate to say this. I've never agreed with the austerity proposition. I think in a recession, the government should be spending, even if they've got to borrow, they should be spending on infrastructure, they should be spending on new build, and because that echoes all through the community. And that way we can, you know, we can actually have, rather than do this, not, you know, do this. So, you know, it's good. Chancellor, so these are all just, this is BBC now, this is just live reporting. So I think, to be fair, that's pretty much all we're going to get from him. But, you know, I mean, if you're in the hospitality sector, that's a big thing. I've got a mate of mine who, you know, is in hotels, and so that's going to make, you know, save a lot of money for him. Now, it'll be interesting to see whether they pass that on. Well, I suppose they have to, because the VAT is a VAT, so it's not really going to affect prices. It's going to affect the prices you pay, not the margins they make, which is a good thing, actually. But yeah, you know, that's good news all around. So guys, that's pretty much it for me. I think we'll leave it there today, and I'll get the detail and come back. So you'll probably hear from me over the next few days. Hold on, my audio. No, that's fine. Good. All right, guys. Thanks very much, and have a fantastic day. But things are pretty good. I'm pretty happy, and I've had 2 phone calls now from the sales guys. So obviously they've been watching, and they're pretty excited too. So yeah, we'll come back. I'll probably do a video tomorrow with a bit more detail once I've read the whole document, and we'll get the finer details, because it's always good to, you know, once you get headlines, you've got to get into the detail, because that's where the real practicalities of it is. But I think, to be fair, it's a genuine attempt to keep the economy moving and to really fire it up, and I think that's great. All right, guys, have a fantastic day, and remember to live with passion. And oh, sorry, Andy, I just saw you got a new one here. So on second property 3, yeah. So I think you're going to pay the 3% on the additional property if you already own one. But I don't know. That's just, Ron just said that's the case. So I assume he's looked up, or he's got the details somewhere there. I'll check it up. You'll see it online anyway the next day. And actually, you can check out all my COVID videos that I've done. There's over 60 of them now, which I've done over the last sort of 4 months, which is basically at gladfish.com/COVID-19. And yeah, there's a heap of stuff there, from landlords, tenants, updates, my thoughts on things, my predictions, all that sort of stuff. Has just been chucking it there, and I'll continue putting that there. But all right, guys, have a fantastic rest of the day, and thanks for you guys that have been commenting. It's great, and remember to subscribe and like, and I'll speak to you real soon. See you later, bye.